Hello, how are you guys? Welcome to our 25th class. Today we are going to start our lessons about the relative clauses. So the first kind of clause we are going to study today is the clause of time, okay? The relative clauses of time, okay? Something very simple but very important for the continuation of our course, okay? So the next few classes we're going to see some more kinds of relative clauses, and the knowledge we are going to build today is going to be very important in the sequence of our course, okay? So let's begin here. Let's begin with some text, okay? Follow me, please. So, holidays and festivals. All over the world, people celebrate special days. In the United States, there are many holidays and festivals, such as Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's Eve, Valentine's Day, and Halloween. So today I'm going to present to you about, a short text about 3 of these holidays, okay? So the first we are going to see is Thanksgiving, okay? So Thanksgiving is a day when North Americans celebrate the harvest. Families get together and share a meal. Turkey is the traditional dish for this holiday, okay? So do you guys understand what harvest mean? Harvest, it happens on a specific time of the year. So after the crop grows, you have to harvest, okay? So it's the same as to gather the crop. So harvest in Portuguese would be colheita, okay? Colheita. So Thanksgiving, as the text says, is a day when North Americans celebrate the harvest, okay? So they thank for the good harvest they had, right? So of course this is an ancient tradition, okay? It dates back to the time the pioneers came from the United Kingdom and arrived at the United States, right? So let's see one more. So we also have Valentine's Day, okay? Valentine's Day is on February 14th. It's a day when people give gifts and send cards to their boyfriends and girlfriends. Flowers and heart-shaped chocolate boxes are very popular. Okay, so Valentine's Day, it doesn't happen on the same day in Brazil, right? But Valentine's Day is what we call in Portuguese Dia dos Namorados, right? So in the United States, it's on February the 14th, and it's a day when people give gifts and send cards to their boyfriends and girlfriends, okay? So what is a heart-shaped chocolate box? A heart-shaped box, okay? So you can see here in the picture, right? So heart-shaped means shaped like a heart, so with the same shape, with the same form of a heart, okay? So this is a heart-shaped box, okay? A heart-shaped chocolate box is a heart-shaped box in which you can find chocolate, okay? Now, and the last one we are going to see today is Halloween, okay? So Halloween is a day when people wear costumes and have parties. On the evening of October 31st, children go trick or treat. They knock on people's doors and ask for candy, okay? So again, do you guys understand what is trick or treat? It's a kind of a game that kids have during Halloween, where they knock on people's door and they say trick or treat, meaning that the person has to give them some candy, which would mean the same as treat. Otherwise, they would play tricks, okay? So to play a trick is to do something evil, right? But usually not something terrible, something that would be considered as a prank, for example, okay? So in Portuguese, we have also a translation for this, which would be trick or treat would be the same as gostosuras ou travessuras, okay? So trick would be travessuras, okay? And treat, of course, gostosuras, okay? We saw today some information about 3 holidays in the United States, right? So what I want to talk to you about today is exactly how to use the relative clauses of time, okay? So if we take a look at the 3 texts we saw, we are going to see that we are using the relative clause of time, okay? So come with me, let's take a look. Now, the first text we saw was about Thanksgiving, right? So look here at the beginning of the text. Thanksgiving is a day when North Americans celebrate the harvest. Okay, so you see here I am using when. This when here, it's linking, it's connecting two sentences that have relation to time. Okay, when we talk about a period of time or something, and we have two different sentences, we can connect these sentences using when, because the meaning of these sentences is to express time, to express when something happened. Okay, so the same here. If we take a look on the second text, look here. Valentine's Day is on February 14th. It's a day when people give gifts and send cards. It's a day when people give gifts. Again, this is again a relative clause of time. Okay, I'm going to explain it better. If we take a look on the third text, we have the same thing, right? Halloween is a day when people wear costumes and have parties. So it's a day when people. So people do this on this day. Okay, so I want to specify when it happens, right? When something happens, and that's why we use when, because it's related to time. Okay, but now, teacher, what is the difference between this usage of when here that we are going to learn today and the normal use? For example, when we ask, when do you come to the party? When do you leave? Okay, so in these cases, this when here, it is only asking a question related to time. Of course, always related to time. But now let's see the difference here. In these cases, we say that these are relative clauses because we have more than one clause in the same sentence. Okay, so a clause is a kind of a sentence, okay, when already we have a verb. Okay, so here we have two sentences with a verb. Let's see that. Okay, so first we have a noun phrase. Okay, a noun phrase is a phrase like this one here. Fall is a season. Okay, fall is a season. Halloween is a day. All these are noun phrases. Okay, so fall is a season, New Year's Eve is a day, January is a month, or is the month, as I said here. Okay, so in these cases, we have here already a full sentence, right? Fall is a season. So this is a complete sentence, right? We can understand the meaning of this sentence. Fall is a season, New Year's Eve is a day. So, but these, we can call them noun sentences or noun phrases, because look here, the main word here is always a noun. Look, fall is a season. We are just providing information about something, right? For example, about fall, about New Year's Eve, and about January, okay? And in these cases here, this information is related to time, right? A season is a period of time. A day is a period of time. A month is also a period of time. Now, let's imagine I want to give more information about the subject of these sentences. For example, fall. Fall is the subject of this sentence, right? Fall is a season. Now, I want also to say that during fall, in the fall, leaves fall off the trees. Leaves fall off the trees, okay? So this is common during the fall, right? So now we have two informations to give about the same subject, which is fall. Fall is a season, and in the fall, during the fall, leaves fall off the trees. Now let's do the same here for New Year's Eve. Now New Year's Eve is a day, and during New Year's Eve, on New Year's Eve, people have parties, of course. On December 31st, people have parties. On New Year's Eve, people have parties. Now, January is the month. January is the month. And in January, most people don't work. Okay? So now here we have 3 sentences, right? Actually 6 sentences. But I have only 3 subjects. Now, can I put this information together? Can I add extra information to a noun phrase? Yes, it's possible, and that's when we use the connector when, okay? So use when to connect the sentences. Now, fall is a season when leaves fall off the trees, okay? Fall is a season when leaves fall off the trees. Or, New Year's Eve is a day when people have parties. Or January is the month when most people don't work. Okay? So what is important for us to see here? That we can use when here not to ask a question, but to connect two sentences. These two sentences, they are talking about the same subject, and this subject is related to a period of time, right? Fall, New Year's Eve, January. So in these cases here, I can use when to connect these two sentences, okay? That's why we call relative clauses, okay? So always here, these extra information clauses here, they are the relative clauses, okay? Which one here is the main sentence? The first, fall is a season. This is the main sentence. It has a complete meaning, right? It's possible to understand without extra information. Now, look at the second part here. When leaves fall off the trees. This doesn't make much sense, right? Not alone. Unless it were a question, right? For example, when leaves fall off the trees? But this would be an incorrect question, right? It would have to be, when do leaves fall off the trees? Then, okay, then it would have some meaning. But without the question form, the second sentences here, the sentences beginning with the connector when, they don't have meaning by themselves, right? It's difficult to understand what they mean without the first sentence, okay? So, fall is a season when leaves fall off the trees. Now I can understand. When people have parties. What when people have parties? Now, New Year's Eve is a day when people have parties. Okay, now it's possible to understand. Okay, guys, I know this is something very simple, but it's going to be important to understand this, because the next few relative clauses we're going to see, they are a little bit more complicated than this one, okay? Now, following, let's practice a little. Now, turn these sentences into one, okay? I want you to connect these sentences, okay? Now, childhood is a time, okay? So here we have a noun phrase. One doesn't have many responsibilities. One doesn't have many responsibilities. Now here in this case, one is being used as a pronoun, okay? So one, you, a person, someone, okay, doesn't have many responsibilities, okay? It's possible to say when we want the sentence not to have a specific subject, to be a general sentence, we can use one, okay? Now who doesn't have many responsibilities during childhood? Everybody, okay? You, me, everybody, okay? It's also possible to use you in this case, right? Childhood is a time. You don't have many responsibilities, okay? It's also possible this you being very general, okay? A general way of expressing a sentence, right? Now, how can we connect these two sentences together? Very easy, right? We are only going to use the connector when, because it's related to a period of time, which is childhood. Childhood, okay? So, childhood is a time when one doesn't have many responsibilities. Childhood is a time when one doesn't have many responsibilities. Okay? Now, 2000 was the year. 2000 was the year. Now, in 2000, many people feared a computer bug, right? The millennium bug, the bug of the millennium, remember? So, in 2000, many people feared a computer bug. Now, how can we add these sentences together? Easy, using the connector when, right? 2000 was the year when many people feared a computer bug. 2000 was the year when many people feared a computer bug. So every time we are going to use a relative clause, and this clause is related to time, we are going to use the connector when. Okay? Very simple. Now, one final exercise. Let's just match the following sentences. Okay? Now we have to understand the meaning of these dates and holidays here so that we can complete and match these sentences. Okay? Now, New Year's Eve, right? New Year's Eve is the last day of the year, correct? So it's the night when friends play tricks and pranks on each other? No. Kids dress up in costumes and ask for candy? No, not that either. People all over the world celebrate the beginning of a new year. Perfect, right? So, New Year's Eve is the night when people all over the world celebrate the beginning of a new year. Perfect. So here we have a perfect match, right? Now, April Fool's Day is a day when? So April Fool's Day is the 1st of April, right? It's common to do what? It's common that friends play tricks and pranks on each other, right? So tricks and pranks are kind of synonyms, right? Would be like travessuras, or when we make a joke, right? We do something that is not normal. It would mean just to make fun of other people, right? So this could be an approximate meaning for to play trick or prank on someone, okay? Now, Halloween is a holiday when kids dress up in costumes and ask for candy. Perfect, okay, that's the match. So, Halloween is a holiday when kids dress up in costumes and ask for candy. Perfect. Now, spring's the season when couples celebrate their marriage. No, not necessarily, right? Flowers blossom. Perfect. Flowers blossom. So, spring is a season, or is the season when flowers blossom, okay? So the flowers, they grow, and after, usually during spring, they blossom, right? So a wedding anniversary is a time when, so wedding anniversary, for example, if you got married on, let's say, the 15th of July, so every year on the 15th of July, it's your anniversary, it's your wedding anniversary, okay? So it means it's been another year since your wedding. So it's common for couples and for people in general to celebrate this anniversary, right? So a wedding anniversary is a time when couples celebrate their marriage. Couples celebrate their marriage. Okay, folks, so that was it for today. I know it's kind of simple, right? But here we saw a little bit of vocabulary, and I wanted, first of all, that you understood what is a relative clause. A relative clause is a clause related to a noun sentence usually, okay? So we have there the main sentence, and we are going to add information about the subject of that first sentence usually, right? We are going to see next class that it's also possible to add information about the object of that sentence, okay? But let's not worry about that right now. What I wanted you guys to understand during this class was that what is a relative clause, and we began with the easiest one, which is the relative clause of time, okay? Always use when we have extra information about a period of time. Okay, guys, so thank you very much. Hope you guys liked the video. If you did, please give me some thumbs up at the bottom, okay? And I hope to see you all next class, okay? Thank you very much. Bye-bye.